You can see the village of Al-Fadaliyah through the rubble of destroyed buildings that surround it. Hundreds of thousands of people fled from their homes when ISIL advanced and eventually took control of this part of northern Iraq in 2014. But not the people of Al-Fadaliyah. They say ISIL forced them to stay. The school reopened a couple of weeks ago when ISIL fighters were pushed out and Kurdish forces took control. It was here that ISIL tried to get children to join its ranks. Teachers say they were threatened with beatings and imprisonment if they refused to teach what ISIL wanted.
ISIL changed the curriculum so the majority of families refused to let their children study it. They used images of weapons, killing and war in the lessons. Only a handful of children came to the classes, so the school was closed. The children have had no education and have suffered so much these last 2 years.
The students are enjoying being able to study again.
If we didn't do what they said, they'd whip us, they'd take us away, they would imprison us. I'm happy now that we can return to our normal life and I can study.
People here say ISIL found volunteers among the village's predominantly Sunni population. Most Sunni and Shia Muslims, Christians and Yazidis living in surrounding villages fled before ISIL arrived. Many of the teachers here are too afraid to talk because they say the brothers and sisters of at least 8 men who joined ISIL are at the school. New school books are being distributed here today. But have a look at this. This is a curriculum that ISIL developed and that they distributed in this village. This is a maths curriculum. Have a look at this equation and look at some of the kind of imagery that they're using. This says if you find a box of 23 rifles and you add to it 5 rifles, then how many rifles are there in the box? It just shows you the level of commitment that ISIL had in trying to indoctrinate some of the children in this village. These boys studied under ISIL. They describe a character in one of the books they were forced to read. There was a man called Abu Osama, they tell me. In the book he bought a car. He came from Algeria and he blew himself up in Baghdad. He killed 50 people and injured 60. This ISIL video shows children being trained to be fighters. It's not known exactly how many children ISIL forced to join groups like Ashbal al-Khilafa, which means cubs of the caliphate. ISIL has proudly published the deaths of dozens of child soldiers and suicide bombers. There are hundreds of thousands of children like these still living in areas controlled by ISIL. Young and impressionable, many of them trained and forced to kill. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera, Al-Fadaliyah, Northern Iraq.